Thank you for your interest in Kaiser Permanente's approach to pharmaceutical detailing as an integrated system. I'm Dr. Maisha Draves, a practicing physician in family medicine and the medical director of pharmacy in Northern California, Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser Permanente has an internal approach to academic detailing. Our evidence-based process is conducted by clinical pharmacist experts who, through independent and thorough reviews, determine the best evidence-based information. This is done in collaboration with physician specialists who are actively practicing in their field. At Kaiser Permanente, we then develop our own evidence-based materials and processes to educate physicians and other prescribers. We leverage our physician and pharmacy partnership. We have strong collaborative partnerships with physicians and pharmacists to support internal academic detailing. We identify thought leaders and experts to work together and create a circle of support. The engagement and participation allows us to co-design together from beginning to end and solidify our unified commitment and responsibility to evidence-based medicine. We also limit the influence of sales representatives. Kaiser Permanente discourages pharmaceutical representatives and other paid clinicians from entering our facilities. Any requested information provided is closely scrutinized to maintain our strict focus on evidence. Physicians are strongly discouraged from accepting free samples or gifts. We also have very strong conflict of interest policies for our pharmacists and physicians that engage in evidence-based reviews of medication and academic detailing. It's important that all materials, reviews, and recommendations are unbiased and evidence-based. Once our pharmacists and physician experts have reviewed the evidence and developed recommendations, documents and tools are developed for use in academic detailing and for use during clinical care. We have materials for physicians and other prescribers, such as flyers, posters, FAQs, presentations, pocket guides, newsletters, and even utilization data. We also have materials for our patients, such as letters, handouts, posters, and news articles. We've adapted our dissemination of academic detailing to match the new technology world around us and the advancement of telehealth. We continue to provide academic detailing to physicians and other prescribers in the traditional in-person venues, but we also now provide academic detailing through the virtual spaces, both audio and video. Our pharmacy and physician team of experts will meet with broad groups via chiefs groups of specific specialties at department meetings and with clinical pharmacists. We also continue to meet in group and one-on-one. We also use lunch and learn sessions. Our evidence-based process is a virtuous cycle of continuous learning and refining. We review existing evidence, gather specialty input, and we continue to monitor additional clinical trials, real-world data on safety and efficacy, and we look at our own internal data. We revise our evidence-based materials and education as needed, based on new learnings and as the evidence evolves. As a result of our committed evidence-based process and commitment to the physician-pharmacy partnership that's conflict of interest free, you can see our rates of adherence. We're successful with our formulary at 97.5%, generics at 99.77%, and our biosimilars at 88 to 98%. A great example of our successful evidence-based academic detailing process in Kaiser Permanente are our biosimilars. We have a commitment with our pharmacy physician partnership over the past 6 years to create endorsements that are evidence-based with key stakeholders, to develop and negotiate contracts that meet our needs, to vet our biosimilar process for formulary through our P&T committee, to utilize our education to communicate and provide information to all of our prescribers. Operationally, we can embed these materials in our electronic health record and at direct points of care. And we're able to implement inventory strategies. And finally, we're able to track utilization. We're also able to re-educate and provide academic detailing when needed and monitor for safety and efficacy. At Kaiser Permanente, we have the ability to move market share. This process allows us to deliver our promise and great care with over 90% of the given market share in the biosimilars over a very short period of time. Kaiser Permanente has 12.4 million members that represents about 4% of the covered lives in the United States. We take very seriously providing an evidence-based care model, and our internal academic detailing supports this. Finally, in closing, some thoughts of what we need to continue our success in assessing a drug's value. On the clinical practice side, we feel that Kaiser Permanente's success really is by maintaining our strong physician-pharmacy partnership, promoting evidence-based medicine, and our physician resolve to avoid the pressures of experimenting in clinical practice. On the regulatory side and areas of improvement that would continue to make our job of assessing value easier would be tighter standards on expedited review pathways to ensure we have adequate evidence on the efficacy and the safety of a new drug coming to market without leaving clinicians and patients with more questions than answers. A judicious use of the real-world evidence in the drug approval process, real-world evidence that would complement but not replace the data from adequately designed clinical trials. And increase oversight over post-market studies, ensuring there are no delays and ensuring that it answers the unanswered questions so that we can continue to deliver high value, high efficacious, and safety care to our patients. And finally, to deter abuse from the Orphan Drug Act. We value the great innovations, but we do want to make sure that they are efficacious and safe when they come to market. With these changes and our clinical approach, we feel these are successful principles to create a fair and balanced method toward determining value. Thank you for letting us share our story at Kaiser Permanente on internal academic detailing.